Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Science Prism. I hope you all are doing great. In the previous session, we had talked about the monohybrid cross, and for the monohybrid cross, these were the results. Phenotypic ratio was 3:1, 75% tall, 25% dwarf. Genotypic ratio was 1:2:1, and we had also discussed about the law of dominance, in which we had talked about dominant and recessive word. That is, the law of dominance states that in a heterozygous organism, if there are pair of contrasting characters present together, only one will be able to express. That we had studied that. We had taken the example of capital we had taken the example of capital T and small t, if you remember, right? In this was the dominant and this was the recessive trait. Okay, I'll just rewrite these words: dominant and recessive. And this also tells us about the law of dominance. Okay, then we had talked about the cross. We had drawn this cross, and in today's class we'll be talking about the dihybrid cross, in which two pairs of contrasting characters are there. These were some of the examples, like curly hair, straight hair, and etc. Let us just see the law of dominance once again.
Can a short plant appear from tall parents? Yes, plants. But cross those offspring and a dwarf plant appears in the Punnett Square. With a 3:1 ratio, this is the law of dominance.
Okay, with 3:1 ratio had appeared and one plant had reappeared, which was dwarf. The recessive trait had expressed itself in the next generation.
Can a short plant appear from tall parents?
Now, moving on to the dihybrid cross. Now, the dihybrid cross basically is the study of inheritance of two pairs of contrasting characters. Okay, two pairs. I'll write it here. If you remember, in monohybrid cross, we were talking about only one pair of contrasting characters. Here, we will be talking about two pairs of contrasting characters. Okay, so what are the two pairs that we had taken? That is yellow and round. So capital Y, capital Y, capital R, green and wrinkled. These are two of the pairs in which one is the color and another one is the shape. Here also one is the color, another one is the shape. So green is the color, and because it is recessive, so here we are taking small y, wrinkled, small r. Okay. Now the hybrid that is produced here, that is capital Y, small r, small y, capital R, small r. This is the hybrid. Okay, now let us quickly draw the cross, and please, I would request you that when you're seeing this video, keep a book or notebook with you so that you can draw it simultaneously with me, and it will be very easy for you to understand. It's a very, very interesting thing to do, and it's like a game. Let us play a game right now. So what are the gametes that we are going to get here? Capital Y and capital R. Homozygous dominant we had taken. For the parental generation, we had taken the homozygous. Okay, in the experiment, what has Mendel done? He had selected pure breeding plants for two contrasting characters. Basically was the color, that is yellow and round, another yellow and green, and the shape was round and wrinkled. Now this was referred to as the parental generation, that is P, and this was the F1 generation, in which all were yellow and round and all were heterozygous. So this is here. Now selfing was done, and for that particular reason the gametes will be as follows: capital Y, capital Y, capital R. Same we'll write here also. Then the second one will be capital Y, small r, capital Y, small r. Here, small y, capital R, small y, capital R, and the last one will be small y, small r, small y, small r. Okay, let us just revise here once. What is capital Y referring to? Yellow dominant. Y for green. Just 1 minute. Yes. Y for green recessive. Capital R for round and dominant, and small r for wrinkled and recessive. And these are the physical traits that we are looking for. All right. So let us start putting it here. Okay. So what do we observe here? Capital Y, capital Y, capital R, capital R. Homozygous dominant for both the traits, and the physical trait will be yellow and round. This will be the first, which is yellow and round. Okay. Then homozygous dominant and heterozygous R. So what we will observe here? Capital Y, capital R, but small r, because small r is here. You just have to observe and write. It's nothing difficult at all. Then it is capital Y, small y, and both capital R's. It is heterozygous Y, but homozygous dominant. Again, these two are all of these yellow and round. Now let's talk about this. Capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. This is what we get here. Capital Y is here, small y is here, capital R is here, small r is here. So again, this is because both are dominant traits present here. So again, you will get it as yellow and round. One more yellow and round is here. That is homozygous dominant Y. So we will write here capital Y, and heterozygous R. So it will be this. Okay. Then again, it is yellow and round. Then homozygous dominant. For this again, capital Y, homozygous recessive, small r, small r. Okay. So, but this is yellow and wrinkled. So I will I will put the numbering for yellow and wrinkled till later on, because these are all 3, 3. These are 9. Yellow and round are 9. So that I'm marking first. Then heterozygous for both the traits. So what will you see here? Capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. Okay. Then comes the 8th one, that this is also yellow and round, and this is number 6. 6th one, which is 5 and 6. Then now you get heterozygous Y. So what do you observe here? Capital Y, small y, homozygous recessive, that is RR. That is what you get here. Then you get here the next one, that is heterozygous Y, because capital Y and small y will be there, and capital R, capital R. That is what you see here. Next comes heterozygous for both the traits, capital Y, capital R, small r. This is what you see here. See, capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. Then again, both the Y's are small and both R are capital. So one homozygous recessive, another one homozygous dominant. Then comes the 12th one, that is both are small, right? Both are recessive, and one R is capital and one is small. Next, so how many yellow round till now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plants will show 7 places you have seen yellow and round phenotype, that is physical trait. One more yellow and round you will see here. Again, see capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. Okay. Then comes heterozygous. Okay. Again, heterozygous Y. So what do you observe here? Capital Y, small small r, small r. Then homozygous recessive. So which means both small will be y will be small and capital R small r. Okay, capital R small r, and only one is there in which YYRR is there. Both all are small, all are recessive. So this is homozygous recessive. Let us now see how many yellow and round physical traits are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and one more yellow and round is there, that is 9. So what is the phenotypic ratio for yellow and round? 9. Okay. Then how many yellow and wrinkled are there? Let us see that. For that, I'll change the color for the numbering. Let us take pink. What are we searching for? Yellow and wrinkled. How many are there yellow and wrinkled? 1, 2, yellow and wrinkled, one more, yellow and this one, 3. Isn't it like a proper game? Yellow and wrinkled will be 3. Now let us see how many are green and wrinkled. How many are green and wrinkled? Green and round, sorry. Green and round. 1 green and round, 2 green and round, and 3 green and round. Why are they green and round? Because they are homozygous recessive. That recessive was by green, y, small y, green and recessive. And only one is there which is like small y and small r, homozygous, recessive also for both the traits. Only one is like this. Now, from this only, we will just check the genotypic ratio once. First, let us see the phenotypic. So, how many yellow round are there? 9. Yellow wrinkled 3. Green round 3. And 1 green wrinkled. Now, let us see the genotypic ratio. How many YYRR in capital you observe? How many are there? Only 1. I'll circle them, okay, with some another color. Let's take this one. Okay, so only this is there, so you get 1. Next, how many do you observe? Capital Y, and capital R and small r. How many are there like this? 1 is there. One more. One more you have to see in which capital Y both are there. That is, both are dominant, homozygous dominant. And another one is capital R, small r. This one. Same it is. Yellow and round. Okay, so this is 2. Okay. Then let us look for capital Y, small y. But both are both, that is homozygous dominant. This one, capital Y, small y, and both capital Y's. So which one it is? One more is there like this. Let us find it out. This one. Got it? Capital Y, small y, and both capital R's. So again, you will get this as 2. Next, there are 4 with heterozygous both. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect diagonal it is, isn't it? Capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. Same. Same here, same here. They are heterozygous for both the traits and they are 4. What are we doing this? We are finding the genotypic ratio. Means the genes that are same, we are just counting them and writing them. Only one is there with capital Y, and small r, small r. Only one is there like this. So which one it is? Capital Y, this one. Capital Y, small r, small r. It is only one like this. Then there are only 2 with capital Y and small y, and but both small r are. Only 2 are there. See? Capital Y, small y, but both small r are. right? Means both homozygous recessive. Heterozygous Y, but homozygous recessive R. How many are there? There are only two. And then comes now what are left? These ones. So these are how many? Capital YY, capital RR, sorry, small YY, capital RR. How many? This is only one, isn't it? This is only one. Do you see any other genes like this? No. So it is again one. Then there is only these are two, small yy and capital R, small r. Okay, it is just a matter of concentrating and doing the cross. Nothing is there that is difficult. It's a very interesting and very easy topic to practice, and very scoring also. There is nothing that you can do wrong if you've understood in this. Then a small yy, capital R and small r. How many you see like this? Only two. And only one is there with this particular ratio. So this is, sorry, 1. So what is the phenotypic ratio, sorry, genotypic ratio we have observed? Genotypic ratio. I'm writing in short. No, I think I can write it complete. What is the genotypic ratio? 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 4 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1. I repeat, very simple it is. 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 4. Okay? Then 1 is to 2, then 1 is to 2, and then only 1. You can learn it in pairs. This, okay? Then 1 is to 2, then again 1 is to 2, and then 1. Very simple concept and very interesting. I hope it's clear. So basically this was the dihybrid cross. I'll put the image in the community post and on our Facebook and Instagram handles also. You can go through these crosses and make sure if you have done it, you can draw it with different colors, and please post it in the comment section if you have drawn. We would love to see that. And you can also mail us on chemistry biology facts 2511@gmail.com. So with this, we finish our topic of genetics. But before that, two laws are left to be discussed. So we will just do that. And I'm clearing this off, but I think it is clear to you, right? Shall I just clear it? Taken a picture, and now I'm going to clear these drawings. And let us move on to our next topic. This was the phenotypic ratio. Now Mendel's first law we had done already. Second law was law of segregation, that is purity of gametes, which states that each gamete receives only one factor. Basically, two members of a pair of factors separate during gamete formation, like you can see in this image. Third law states that during the inheritance of two pairs of contrasting characters, for each character, it segregates separately, independently. Means color will be color, shape will be shape. Okay, seed color does not dictate the seed shape. Means this gene will not dictate this particular character. Very simple it is. This is called as law of independent assortment. So these were the three laws, and I think with this we have completed this unit. Apart from these, there are certain diseases for which, in case if you need to, or if you want to talk about that, if you need a video, please mention, please mail us. We finish this unit. Next, we'll be starting with another unit. So looking forward to see you for the same. And please don't forget to subscribe, and please view the complete videos for your complete conceptual clarities, because these are all biology series which are for conceptual basics. In case you need any detailed video on any particular topic from these two units or from any other unit, please mail us on our mail ID, that is chemistrybiologyfacts2511@gmail.com. So thank you, and see you till the next time. Take care. Bye-bye.